Alright, it is getting colder here in Vermont, and I've been focusing on these tiny points. I've been using them on blow darts and having a lot of fun doing it. I got a few pieces. I like to use rhyolite, and I found this kind of cruddy stuff in a river in New Hampshire, and I found that this stuff works pretty good for the blow darts. It's really like kind of durable. Let's see, zoom in a little. These little chunks don't look so great, but once you start working it, you see it makes some pretty nice flakes. Sharp and durable. I'm really enjoying rhyolite, and I am a little annoyed that I can't find bigger pieces. They should be around. I'm not seeing them. Maybe I just got to go out into deeper water. This stuff at the base is tough. I'll show you probably towards the end of the video just how good these blow darts work. That was a nice flake. Kind of cruddy in there. Get rid of the junk. Man, come on. It's really hard to get anything out of something this small, but if you do it enough, usually you can. Sometimes it's not worth your time. Just really gotta judge and see if it's going according to plan or not. This side is grainy. This side is better. So I'm gonna try to get rid of this, take this stuff off, and keep this as best as I can to try to get a decent point. I don't know how many people are interested in blow darts, but I've been having a lot of fun with it, so I figured I would show it on video again. Hurts your fingers too, trying to bash these small little cobbles. So be careful with that. Okay. See, it's higher quality in here. So if I could get rid of all this junk, get rid of this. Ouch. I'm telling you, it really, really hurts your fingers when you do this. Might be better off wearing gloves. I don't really have any. If I can make a point out of this, I will demonstrate it at the end of the video. Just trying to even it out and get rid of the junk. So I am getting near the end of my time here at Vermont. I'm not entirely sure where I am going yet, but I suspect that wherever I end up, I will be able to do more how to find flint videos, or maybe even how to find obsidian videos, which should be cool. and fun to record. This piece has high quality in it right here. You could see it's different than the rest of it. This stuff gets sharper than this stuff. This stuff is more durable than this stuff. So it's really up to you what you're aiming for. I'm just trying to get a usable point out of this so I could demonstrate it. And also demonstrate what you could do with just little tiny pieces of rock that you find. If you really stick at it and you really keep trying to work this little stuff, you get good at working the little stuff. I might have to get rid of this. Looks like yes. There's not enough good in there for a point, really. I mean, there is, but I would rather have slightly bigger. So I'm going to get rid of some of that too. Let's work it down. See what we come up with at the end. So a very large bear in my camp. So now I'm hesitant about putting garbage out over here. This is going to be an interesting looking point if I could keep it together. Should be able to. I mean, rhyolite is pretty darn durable. Be using mostly the Ishy Stick Indirect to do this because pressure flaking rhyolite hurts. It is not a fun material to pressure flake. So if you could get most of it down with indirect, that is a good idea in my opinion. It's almost to the point that I need a jacket out here already. Crazy. It's pretty cold. So this is definitely not the best piece of rhyolite to be doing this. Well, that's cool. It took out the entire good piece. So I'm going to keep that. I am going to pressure flake that into a tiny point. Okay. Cool. Into my keep pile. I did have a fire going. It went out. I was in New Hampshire looking for rhyolite in the creeks and stuff, and came upon a trail that I wanted to investigate. I said to Leah, "Oh, it's fine, it's fine. It's all good. We know what we're doing. We've done this enough. Just got to watch out for snakes, whatever." And what I did not account for is catching moose parasites. We got moose parasites. I had like 12, Leah had like 1. What it is it's almost a little tiny, fast-moving, flying tick. And they're calling it a fly, but it looks like a tick. And what it does to the moose is when it lands, it sheds its wings. So it immediately sheds its wings and starts crawling really fast to find fur to burrow into, like a tick. Exactly like a tick. And I felt things crawling on my face. So I was like, what the hell's on my face? Is this a spider? Saw it had wings, so we weren't immediately concerned. And then I used my ID app and saw that it said it's a elk and moose parasite. And we just happened to be on a moose game trail. Yeah, look at that. See, this stuff hinges up. It's different layers of different kinds of material. So it's hard to get it flat like flint. But the end result is usually pretty good. I'm going to continue my story in a second. I just wanted to point that out. So it says that they burrow into the fur of elk and moose. So on my rock trip, going the crazy places that I go, I did not expect to catch a moose parasite. I'm going to clip it in here. So you could see where I was. I did not find any rhyolite in that area. I did find rhyolite further away. But that area was a bust, and I got moose parasites for no reason. I put the flaker into that turtleback area there and thinned it out. It's going to be hard to get rid of that because of the material itself. Switch pressure flake in here. Zoom out a little bit. So I've been having fun this whole summer season here in Vermont and New Hampshire. I just wish I could find more material. I know it's around. I know this is the stuff. I know there's another type of rhyolite that I've only been able to find one little tiny piece that I made a blow dart out of. And I hunted a bullfrog with that. I did not record it. I fed the legs to my cat Jasper. He loved them. I've had frog legs before down in Georgia, but I just didn't feel like eating them myself that time. Well, it's really hard to pressure flake. I do want to get a point out of this so I could show you guys what I've been doing. Been making like little Clovises and Daltons and stuff. You don't really want to use indirect because at this point there's a lot of flaws in the material. So if you use too much force, you're likely to split it. See that bump there? I gotta get rid of that, but it's gonna be sketchy to do so because I gotta use indirect to get rid of that. Alright, let's see. Grind it down a little bit. I'm gonna try to really support it. All that I have with me is the giant billet, the giant copper bopper. So hopefully this ain't too much. If I break this point, I got plenty of other points I already made to show you how they work. So I'm not too concerned about that. There we go. Got rid of it. Okay, flattened out a little bit. Do the same on the opposite side. Doesn't want to go. Try again. I don't want to hit too hard, as I said. Alright, there we go. also don't want to make it too thin on this stuff, especially if it was found in a creek, because of all the frost damage that happens up here in the Great North. All right, this is where you got to start being a little cautious. Makes some cool looking points, I'll tell you that. Just wish I could find bigger pieces. Gentle on the pressure flaking too. Okay. Look at those swirls and stuff. Freaking cool. Oh, man. I think I'm going to make a little Dalton style out of this piece because there's some flaws in it and I'm not risking trying to flute this stuff. Just make sure it's sharp. So the bullfrog that I shot, it went entirely through the frog, like entirely through. With the Tim Wells Fishhawk is what I use, the Fishhawk blowgun. That thing is powerful. See, look, this is a good example of where you could see the layers. It turns from green to brown to green to blue, and then it hits the red. And it's in layers, so when you're napping this, it comes off in layers, kind of like slate. Kinda. So you just got to be careful, because pressure flake too hard and it's gonna come apart. All right. It's got a big curve to it that I'm not happy with. See if I could straighten it a little bit. Lose some size, that's okay. For blow darts, it's more important to be straight than it is to be big. And actually, the smaller it is, the more likely it is to pass entirely through a target, like a squirrel or a frog. Some issues near the tip. It's gonna be shorter. I'm gonna have to take off about that much in order to straighten this. Maybe not. That did it. We got some of that there. Guess I am gonna try some more indirect. Just thin it a tiny bit. Come in at the base. Okay. Indirect is not doing what I want it to do. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I want it to look good. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do the rest with pressure. This is too sketchy. So anyway, I was saying, got sidetracked with my story. We went down a moose trail. There was moose tracks everywhere. I thought that there would be a water supply down there that had a specific kind of rhyolite. It's like a beige rhyolite. Beige yellow rhyolite that should have been in the creeks in that area, and I just couldn't find it. Just found moose parasites. So Leah had one in her hair. I had like 10 crawling on my face. I was a little disturbed. Once I read it wasn't dangerous to people, I was not so disturbed. But every time I go out on a rock trip, I learn something new. Now I have to protect against moose parasites, apparently. Alright. This is getting a little too narrow. So I'm just going to try to shape it without losing any more size. Going to try. Doesn't mean that's what's going to happen. Alright. Got a downward curve near the tip, so I'm going to lose some of the tip. That is okay, though. For the blowgun, sharpness at the tip matters the most, followed by size. So you want it to be as small as you feel comfortable making them. About this size is good from what I have experimented with. The thicker parts you don't want. So if you could get rid of the thicker parts, you're good. The turtle backs seem to slow down the penetration quite a bit, but that is not too bad. It's just, you could see it's hinging up in there. I don't want to... Maybe I could do one right here. I'm going to try one indirect shot right here to see if I could get rid of some of that turtle back. So now I really have to plan for stuff I don't know about. Like moose parasites, I did not know about. I did not know there were flying moose parasites. Man, that one was sketchy. Okay. Gotta concentrate for a minute. Having a sharper tool helps as well. I did not sharpen this. Alright. You want it to be as narrow as you feel comfortable with as well, because it's got to fit through the blowgun. Sharp as can be. Ooh, took too much off there. Alright. Definitely took too much off there. It's going to be a little smaller of a point now. That's okay though, we want it sharp. I don't think I could do too much about this turtle back here. I don't want to lose any more width. There we go, I got some of it. That's about as good as it's gonna get. Alright, so now I just want to make it even so it doesn't break on impact. The more even the point is, the less likely it is to break. Okay, so this side flares out, this side does not. So, give this side a little bit of a flare as well. Ooh, that was too much of a flake. Okay. Nice. This one little mess up isn't going to affect too much. You just want to make sure the tip is sharp. Okay. So I'm going to glue this onto a piece of wood and just show you what it's capable of. Sharpen it up a little bit more. Pop off some of the base so it fits on the stick. Blow an ear off, that's okay. Not really, but it's okay. Okay. Just like I said, make it even. Okay. Glue this onto a stick, and I'll show you how it works. Alright, so I went and split a little piece of bamboo. Split it just like that. And I've been using super glue. These I got from Tim Wells. You could order them from him. Now there's super glue on the stick itself. And I take some of the sinew, wrap it around like that, and as this goes up, it'll take this little fold and secure it, go all the way up that split. Like that. I leave a little bit like that to put some pine pitch in. Go around once. Put it through, just a simple knot. I pull tight right there. And then I snip that. Make sure that's straight. It's pretty straight. The point itself has a little curve to it. That's okay though. Let's see, do I have a little flake out here anywhere to cut that? A point that exploded on me. So I pull this tight, cut that, like that, push it down, and then just let the glue dry. The point is ever so slightly pointing downwards. So when it dries, I'm just going to take one flake off to straighten that. And I will be back when this is nice and dry. Alright, I put the pine pitch in. It should be good enough to test. Wrapped it with sinew. I heated the sinew so it shrinks. I sanded the wood to make a smooth, penetrating surface, and I put a little bit too much pine pitch on that point. But I think that's good enough to test. We'll give it a test now. Just so happen to have this little itty bitty tomato. Alright, so I fired using half of a blowgun, which is half power. A few shots, I got pine pitch on my finger. It went in the top, came out the bottom, cut it open on the side. You could see, half power, not blowing very hard. Tomato would be about the same consistency as a frog. So you could see what that would do there. There you go. I would not suggest using half power on like a squirrel. Use the full blowgun. Make sure when you put it in, I do this. So when you put it in, most people push it past the click point. Let it click once, like that. You're gonna have to blow hard. That adds a lot more power. If you could get that dart to come out with it locked into place like that, you're gonna get a lot more power. I mean, like triple power when you blow, as compared to pushing it all the way in and then it slides. It slides freely. You want it to lock. So, pro tip there. You get a lot more power if it locks. I've been messing around with these rhyolite points for a while now. I really am liking them. I've also been putting them on my regular hunting arrows. Here's a regular sized rhyolite point, one of the bigger pieces that I managed to find in a creek. Not the best material, not the best grade, but it works really well. And this is the kind of thing you could get out of a little tiny chunk of rock too. Like, you could do this with quartz, quartzite, whatever. As long as it's sharp on the sides. You need it to be sharp. Alright guys, that's it for me. Just a quickie video working some cobble. Little tiny cobble pebbles of rhyolite from New Hampshire.